welcome back to the Unsettled special episode, I guess. If you're new here, thanks for watching. If you don't mind hitting the subscribe button, that would help us out a lot. Also, anything else?
And share.
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 Just share.
Just share.
Just share it. That's what you need to do. So we've previously discussed in other videos of Jack the Ripper, the victims, who it could have been, and so forth and so on. We are now going to discuss part of the 11 Whitechapel murders that took place. Not the famous 5.
No.
We're going to discuss the other ones,
Yep.
which are all a bit odd and maybe...
So, not Ripper-esque, but...
There's little chances, little bits.
Okay.
There's like little slim bits.
Okay.
I mean, it's up to you if you want to think, okay, that could be the Ripper, it could not be. I mean, obviously your views count and their opinions count. And it just depends.
And if you do have views and opinions, then leave them down below in the comment box.
Begin, shall I? So, during the era from which the Ripper was active, there was 11 murders committed in London's East End. Of course, everyone knows about the 5, right? So it makes sense. But today, we're going to discuss the others.
Okay.
Okay? So many believe the Ripper was responsible for 5 of them.
Right. That may or may not
So
have.
what about the rest? That's what I'm on about. So what about the rest? The first victim is Emma Elizabeth Smith. She allegedly was a prostitute and was viciously attacked and raped on Osborne Street in Whitechapel on the 3rd of April 1888.
Okay.
Okay? Now bearing in mind Jack the Ripper never actually raped his victims. He just mutilated them. So this is a bit more weird, okay? So during the assault, her attackers or attacker beat her pretty much to death and then raped her. Bear this bit in mind. Then violently inserted a blunt object into her vagina.
Fair enough.
Yeah, causing injury which would take her life the next day. Her purse was emptied and left at the scene. Many believe her death was a result of gang violence. Gangs in that area were wild and would demand money off of these women for protection. What do you think?
That fits with a gang assault.
Yeah? No
it's,
Ripper-esque?
Well, no, it's theft.
Which
It's
the
a
Ripper
brutal
didn't do.
attack.
Yeah.
There's no clean incisions.
Okay.
If you know what I mean. There's no organ removal.
Okay.
Like, unless it was him building up to being fine tuning.
Maybe think
But
back
going
to...
around in a group, then maybe not.
Okay, think back to season 2, The Servant Girl Annihilator. This person obviously inserted something. Think about it. It plays out. It plays out. The next victim of the Whitechapel murders was Martha Tapperam. I think that's how you say her name.
Okay.
I think. She was a hawker
Okay.
and a prostitute, obviously.
So what's a hawker?
I have no idea. Look it up. Drop a comment below. Let us know what a hawker is.
Yeah. Interesting.
She was brutally murdered on the early hours of the 7th of August 1888. She was seen with another lady on the streets and 2 soldiers earlier that night.
Okay.
Okay?
See, now this kind of brings it back.
Okay. Martha's body was first discovered at 3:30 a.m. But she was mistaken for being drunk and knocked out.
Yeah.
So they literally just walked past her.
Drunk, passed out. Yeah. I
Yeah.
haven't got time for this.
Exactly. Yet at 5 a.m. her body was discovered again, this time with enough light to reveal 39 stab wounds.
Whoa.
The wounds focused on her throat, chest and lower abdomen. The weapon used was a suspected pocket knife, but one large stab wound revealed it was done by a large dagger.
Interesting. I'd say so. As a Ripper-esque thing.
Okay. But this is before
you've
any
got
of the other...
stuff.
This is before the 5
This
victims.
is a previous month.
Yeah.
So you've got the stab wounds. Check. But they're not defined.
No. And it
They're
seems
not
like it's done by a little
medically
pocket
based.
knife.
Yeah, they're not medically based.
Yeah.
They're not smooth. It's basically one big stab to kill and then 38 to maim.
Pretty much just for a laugh. Like stabbing a potato
so
before you cook
you've got the right victim.
Yeah, but the victim was right there before.
No, as a prostitute, a night worker,
a hawker,
whatever that is.
It's a good name.
Hmm?
I mean, you should call yourself Will the Hawker.
I don't even know what it is.
Works.
It could be something like night something or other.
Okay, I would like to say many believed Martha to have been the work of the Ripper.
Mm.
Many believe
As I say,
this.
like going through it.
Yeah.
Like it's got his MO.
Yeah.
But there's no polish to it.
No.
Like
they couldn't really define the incisions, the cuts. It didn't really work.
No, it's got the
It's got the stab wounds.
The stab wounds in the locations.
Yeah.
The throat, the chest, the abdomen.
So you're thinking maybe Ripper?
I don't know. It's too sloppy.
Okay.
Like 39.
Okay. Then of course it's the 5. You got Mary Ann Nichols, Anne Chapman, Elizabeth Stride, Catherine Eddowes, and Mary Jane Kelly.
Yeah.
All allegedly killed by the Ripper, and the cuts are that precise.
Yeah, they're medically precise.
Okay.
They've all got the same MO, apart from the Mary Jane Kelly, but we've gone into that in other videos.
Yeah.
So who's next?
So obviously you have the 5, right? So obviously they're the famous 5.
Yeah,
right.
Or the unfamous one.
Yeah. Due to the brutal attacks and so on. And like we said, we did do a video, we've done a walk, so go check that out and enjoy that video. So, many believed after the Ripper's killing of the alleged Mary Jane Kelly, that was the Ripper's last one. The Ripper allegedly stopped, yet...
Or fled, or escaped, or hid, or...
got sectioned, or
sectioned,
anything along that lines.
Yeah.
But the murders continued in the East End. So even after Mary Jane Kelly, more murders still appeared.
Yeah.
So 4 other women was later killed. First was Rose Millette. I guess that's correct or wrong. She was found strangled in Clark's Yard in December the 20th, 1888. Investigators assessed that her death may have been a result of a drunken argument or attack.
Okay.
Right? There was no sign of any struggle, but she obviously died of strangulation.
So she knew who her.
But investigators said it was a murder, but not that of Jack the Ripper. Okay, so it was just like a regular strangulation.
It's not his MO.
I say regular; it doesn't really happen often. But okay,
it hasn't got his.
There's nothing there.
No.
So it could have just been a random.
It's a strangulation.
Yeah.
The signs of no struggle is basically she knew her attacker.
Possibly.
And she felt comfortable. That's the backstory.
Possibly. Right. Next was the body of Alice Mckenzie. She was found on July the 17th, 1889 in Castle Alley, Whitechapel. She had suffered a severe carotid artery, along with multiple cuts and bruises across her body, evident of a struggle. The pathologist involved in the investigation dismissed this as the Ripper. So there's cuts here, there's stab wounds, but nothing.
But the form of her death was a carotid artery. Basically, she had a stroke or a heart attack as she was being attacked.
Not quite.
Not quite.
Okay. Many actually, in fact, claim this was a copycat of Jack the Ripper. It's a copycat job. They were present. And I'm not being funny, guns weren't really available to everyone, right? So it would be done with a little knife, or a little pocket knife, or just like what mobsters would have. Give me your money.
Yeah, it's like any sharp object at this point in time.
So the 10th Whitechapel murder victim was the Pinchin Street torso. The victim was named as such because she was found headless and legless under the railway arch on the 10th of September.
So this copycat has taken mementos.
1889. Investigators believe she was killed and placed under there, but killed in a different location. Another copycat? Okay. I find it quite funny.
Well, yeah, I find it quite hilarious that we actually walked through that.
Right, the last one. Frances Coles was murdered on February the 13th, 1891. She was found at Swallow Gardens, a passageway beneath a railway arch between Chambers Street and Royal Mint Street. So not far from where we were.
Not far from where we were.
Her throat slit, visible wounds on the back to her head. No mutilations was found.
Or no other mutilations.
Yeah, unlike the other victims of the Ripper.
Yeah.
But her throat was slit.
So do you think if this was maybe a Ripper case, would it go along the same lines as the one that he got interrupted in?
Maybe. But a man named James Thomas Sadler, who authorities believe to be Jack the Ripper, was arrested on charge of this crime.
Okay.
Right. But he was discharged on March the 3rd, 1891 due to lack of evidence.
Okay. So there was at least a suspect.
So these were the women that also got killed around the time of the Ripper.
The Ripper-esque.
They're all very varied.
True.
I've got to say. They're all very like, strangulation, sliced throat, stab wounds.
Yeah, it just makes me think that
I'm going to take her body.
You know, this bloke got away with it, and all the down and outs and darks and discharges, and all the wrong type of people were just like, well, if one person gets away with it, we can all get away with it, and
you hit it.
just gone out and.
But the one
it's
thing,
like open season. It's like literally like.
But you got to think, right? Throughout the whole of this era and this point, this is classed as the Whitechapel murders, right?
Yeah.
And yet, no one, including people for these cases, were arrested for this.
No.
Or brought to justice for this.
No, you think like.
That's 11 people in the space of like a year. And no one.
It's 3 years, I believe. But it's
1889 was the last one. 1888 was throughout the. But what I'm saying is, throughout this whole time, no one was brought to justice due to these individuals getting killed. That's strange.
It's weird, but then obviously.
How shit were the police back then? They couldn't find the Ripper. They couldn't find the others.
Yeah, but
as
we've agreed in other videos, it's. They never. It was like a Soho situation. You would never walk into there as a copper.
No.
You'd have beats around the area, but not within this certain location.
It just seems weird.
It was like gangland territory. Like the coppers just won't go in there. They just stay away.
It does seem weird. So throughout this time span, 11 women were killed. There was no men killed around this era. It was mainly targeted at women.
Yeah.
Many
it was all
copycats.
Yeah. Ladies of the night and people that got caught out after dark.
And no one's brought to justice. Very strange.
No. Well, saying that, like back then, there was like you think a night walker would be the lowest of the low back then.
I also think it's very strange that even the police were like, "Oh yeah, they killed Mary Jane Kelly. They're not going to kill anymore." That's a very weird way to think about it.
But then it depends if they've done psych profiles, maybe.
Yeah, but they always go to that 5, don't they? They're like, "Oh, this 5 were the main 5," but then other people are getting killed around the area.
Yeah, but as we've talked about and discussed within that Mary Jane Kelly, like the last video, it was so sloppy. Like he was starting to lose his edge. Like he still had the Ripper factors.
So you saying that,
but it was like he was just falling apart at this point.
As the Mary Jane Kelly death was sloppy, although her body was mutilated and put in different places, organs and stuff etc. Even though it was done like that, Could these all then be the work of the same person?
I don't know. I wouldn't expect the gang one to be.
But the others, sloppy kills. Oh, I've got away with it. I'm just going to smack her across the head or strangle her. I've lost my invention.
Yeah, well...
I'm just now going to walk the streets of London and go, that one. And kill that one. Just be like, yeah, I'll strangle you to death. Wow.
Charge murders, but... I don't know.
Seems very weird no one's brought to justice, put it that way. Yeah. Very strange, and it seems very strange the police all of a sudden decided to go, oh, Mary Jane Kelly's dead, so that's it, no more Ripper.
That's the end of the...
But all these murders happened after, which made no sense. Especially the torso one. How do you walk away with...
I do walk away with a head and legs.
I'll just walk the streets of Whitechapel with head and legs. Makes sense. Carried around in the half like horse and cart, I think. But yeah, they were the other victims, I guess, of murders that happened around that time of the Jack the Ripper era.
Not really as well known as you said as the Whitechapel murders.
Yeah,
the whole group of people.
Yeah, because it was from a time span. Yeah. Basically, from him, from there to here, and done. Yeah. So yeah, what are your guys' thoughts? Drop a comment below. Don't forget to subscribe, support the channel, and yeah, be prepared for season 3.